All right, today we're going to talk about one of the absolute hottest career paths on the entire planet, artificial intelligence. We're going to cut right through all the noise and give you a super clear, actionable roadmap to land a high-paying job in AI based on what the market is screaming for right now. So let's just dive right in.
Let's kick things off with a number that tends to get everyone's attention, $350,000. And no, that's not a lottery ticket. That is the real upper-end salary for senior-level AI specialists in booming fields like tech and media. It just goes to show you how incredibly valuable these skills have become.
And you know, it's not just about that peak salary. This quote really frames the whole opportunity perfectly. We're talking about a field that's not only incredibly lucrative, but it's also projected to be the single fastest-growing career out there, with amazing job security. This isn't just some passing trend. It's a deep, fundamental shift in the entire job market. Which, of course, brings us to our first big question, the AI gold rush. I mean, what's actually driving these unbelievable salaries? Why is this happening right now? Let's break down the economics behind this whole boom.
This chart right here tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Just look at this. In 2025, a tech role that required AI skills paid on average a staggering 67% more than a similar tech job that didn't. That's not just a small bump, okay? That is a massive premium that shows you exactly where companies are placing all their chips.
So what's behind that huge premium? Well, it boils down to classic textbook supply and demand. Right now, the number of companies desperate for people who can build and manage AI systems is more than triple the actual supply of people with those skills. And anytime a skill is that rare and that valuable, yeah, salaries are going to go through the roof.
Okay, so we've established the demand is absolutely off the charts. But where, specifically, are the highest-paying jobs hiding? Let's pull out the map and pinpoint the top roles across a few key industries to see where the real money is. Let's start at the epicenter, the tech industry itself. I mean, these are the companies building the foundational AI tools that basically every other industry uses. And right at the top of the food chain is the senior machine learning engineer. These are the folks who can architect and deploy huge AI systems, and they can command salaries all the way up to $350,000. Next up, let's talk finance. In this world, AI isn't just some cool new feature. It's directly wired into the bottom line. Whether you're a quant designing new trading algorithms or a data scientist preventing millions of dollars in fraud, your work has a direct, measurable financial impact. And that is exactly why these roles pay so well, with salaries easily hitting that $300,000 mark.
Now, in healthcare, the stakes are, unbelievably high. It's all about precision, accuracy, and, of course, compliance. So an AI specialist who can help a machine read medical images better and faster, or an engineer who can weave AI into patient care systems, that person is incredibly valuable. And that value is reflected in salaries that can push past $220,000.
And then there's media, where the whole game is about creating amazing content and personalizing it for every single user. A senior generative AI specialist, someone who builds systems that can literally create images, video, or music, is at the absolute cutting edge. This role actually ties with those top tech jobs, commanding salaries as high as $350,000, because they are literally building the future of content.
All right, so that's the what and the where. Now we get to the most important part, the how. What skills do you actually need to have in your toolkit to land one of these incredible jobs?
Okay, and this is so important to understand. It is not just about writing code. You've got your technical skills, that's the what, the foundation of what you can build. But then you've got your soft skills, that's the how effectively you can actually get things done and work with a team. You absolutely need both of these, not just to land a job, but to build a real career and eventually move into leadership. On the technical side, let's be crystal clear, everything starts with Python. It is the undisputed #1 language for all things AI. Not just because it's kind of easy to learn, but because of its massive ecosystem of libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch. These are the engines that power modern AI. If you master Python, you can build the kind of efficient, scalable apps that companies are just desperate for.
Next up is deep learning. This is the magic, right? This is the engine behind all the most mind-blowing breakthroughs in AI, from self-driving cars to generative art. It's all about training these super complex neural networks to spot patterns in massive amounts of data. The reason this skill pays so much is because it's at the absolute heart of innovation. It's what lets machines see, hear, and understand the world in ways that used to be pure science fiction.
Now, this next skill is one that a lot of people overlook, but it is unbelievably in demand. It's called MOps, or machine learning operations. See, it's one thing to build a cool AI model on your laptop. It's a completely different challenge to make that model work reliably, at scale, for millions of users. MOOps is the bridge that turns a cool experiment into a profitable, industrial-strength product. And believe me, people with this skill are rare, and they get paid very, very well.
But listen, all those technical skills, they're only half the story. You also have to be a fantastic problem solver, because you're going to be hitting new, complex roadblocks literally every day. And, maybe most importantly, you have got to be a great communicator. You have to be able to explain what you're doing to managers, designers, and executives who don't speak code. That's the skill that takes you from being a good engineer to being a real leader.
Okay, so you know the roles, you know the skills you need in your toolkit. The million-dollar question is, how do you actually build it? So let's walk through a concrete 6-month plan to go from zero to an AI professional.
Here is a totally doable roadmap for making this happen in just 6 months. For the first 2 months, you focus entirely on the foundations, getting rock solid with Python and the essential math behind it all. Then, for months 3 and 4, you move into core machine learning concepts. Andrew Ng's famous course is an amazing place to start. Month 5 is when the fun really begins. You pick a specialty that excites you, like language or vision or generative AI. And then finally, in month 6, it's all about building a killer portfolio and starting that job hunt. It's intense, for sure, but it shows you a clear path forward.
So, let's wrap this all up. The key takeaway, the most important thing to remember from all of this, is that a high-paying career in AI isn't some impossible dream. It is a real, achievable goal. Yeah, the path is challenging, no doubt, but it's also clearly defined and structured for anyone who is willing to put in the work.
Look, the demand could not be any clearer. The salaries are absolutely life-changing. And now, the roadmap is sitting right here in front of you. So really, the only question left is, what's your next move?